Yo, what's up guys? Today is December 10th, 2025, so it's Wednesday, third day of the week. We had FOMC today at 2 p.m. Eastern time, so let's get over today's trade recap. As you guys can see here, we have this clear drawn liquidity in the higher time frame, being this the on-field daily fair value gap. So if we scale down to this 4 hour, there's nothing in clear in here, but as you guys know, if we mark out this higher time frame range, that CE of the range aligns perfectly with this daily order block, so I'm super convinced in this job is going to end whenever we just rebalance the full deck and grab any low. So coming into today, as you guys can see here, we failed to get past through this 4 hour fair value gap, so I'm still bearish as we are respecting a discounted period right in here, as you guys can see. So we made this swing here. We are in a sell model now, as you guys can see. My condition for today's bias was this 1 hour fair value gap, that if we ended up respecting it, we're probably going to hunt these lows and this equilibrium of range. So as you guys can see, we ended up wicking inside of it, making that reaction. Then we ended up embracing this 30-minute fair value up in here. So we are clearly drawing to at least previous low. So as you guys can see here, market open, we start, okay, so as you guys can see, market open, start trading lower, then we flip without taking these lows. I think we made an SMT in there. Yes, we did. So we made an SMT in there, but as we are in a sell model, I'm not interested as keeping this SMT at a long-term play, so I just consider that SMT to make a retrace to a very SPR rate to continue lower as we generate more liquidity to the downside. So as you guys can see here, we had this 15 minutes fair value gap, when we ended up trading back into it. But as you guys can see, I think here there's nothing that we could have entered off, and there's no inversion in here. This tiny 2 minute, you would have a break even. As you can see here, we just got really choppy. So as you guys can see, this 15 minutes still looks pretty clean if you want to think fit in a good way. So as you guys can see, we ended up grabbing this low, failing to grab previous day's lows. So now, as you guys can see, we created this range with some inefficiency we can rebalance over. So now we can have a retrace to then have a place to short off. So we made that back inside of this 5 minutes that we did inverse, but you look at the 4-3, we're still respecting those. So as you guys can see, we made this move back into a range, and then we inverse this 2 minutes, which is the higher time frame inversion in the leg. So I entered of that. I didn't enter it actually. I set a limit order at the retest, targeting the equilibrium of the higher time frame range. So I set my limit in there. Yeah, probably stops like this. So as you guys can see, I didn't got tagged in that position, so I made that first 3 RR. So after that, as you guys can see here, we reversed of that key level in the higher time frame. So cool that we got able to make that exit with that precision. So I mean, I lost my entry, but I'm happy that idea was perfect. So now I just hopped off the chart, so I was waiting to see if FOMC can bring us something. So as you guys can see here, if we go back to FOMC, so as you guys can see, I posted on the Discord, I think. Okay, super bullish coming out to FOMC. I think we are ready to span higher. So as you guys know, we ended up reversing from that C of the range at the higher time frame, plus that daily order block, plus we ended up sweeping previous low. So now we have a lot of liquidity here to grab. So I mean, I knew for a fact that we are going to, I mean, if we are in a higher time frame, we just rebalance this leg, the next move is probably going to span. And we also had that clear drawn liquidity in the higher time frame, so I knew that was probably the expansion we were looking for. So as you guys can see here, news came out, we ended up spiking to the upside. If you look at NQ here, I was looking, my main target was this 1 hour for value up, which is the first premium array to target. So that was my first target. So as you can see here, we ended up trading in that direction, as you guys can see here. I mean, there's nothing else to stop this idea. I mean, we rebalance the higher time frame leg, we just rebalance the lower time frame intermediate range in here. As you can see, we trade back into range, we reject from there as news came out, and then we just start trending to the upside. As you guys can see, if we have this strong liquidity here and we just made this retrace back in this 3-minute for value up, which is also inside this C of range with this displacement through this inverse in here. So I mean, if we are going to span higher and we just form this setup in here, it should hold to or drawn liquidity. I can hold this, I could have hold that longer, but I mean, it's 2.6 is perfect, and that was my main objective. So as you guys can see, we ended up, I think I can. So as you guys can see, I set a limit in here. I was looking to play it safe, so I mean, that was my break even in there. So as you guys can see, I set my limit in here. I think I entered somewhere around there, and I set my stop loss to that breaker block in there. So now if we are going to keep this higher, we are going to rebalance of this inverse, probably this breaker, this 50% range, and this new value we just creating here. So at least I was demanding price to grab this high in here. As you guys can see, we got stopped out through in here. So I mean, as you guys can see now here, we ended up trading back lower inside this discounted 5-minute in here, which is the ideal entry. But I mean, if that setup formed like that, at least it should have grabbed the internal high. But I mean, you just got unlucky that we ended up just reversing after that setup formation. So I mean, unlucky that that setups had firm in there. I would have preferred that we just straight down without any fake out in here as we got into. So as you guys can see here, we just drip from there to the take profit, and I was looking, I mean, I just took that loss, so I wasn't concerned in taking no trades. I was looking to this 5 minute to get inverse, but as you guys can see, it closed all the way up here, so there is no entry here for me. But even though this was super clean, drawn liquidity, as we just engineer more liquidity here. So yes, that's pretty practically all FMC for me. So as you guys can see, we ended up being right about my drawn liquidities. We hit all this by setting here, so at least we were correct in every aspect. But no, my entry, I mean, I think that's pretty unlucky, but it is what it is. I mean, head up, continue to the next day of the weeks, and this is my trade recap for today, guys. See you tomorrow.